Being uncomfortable means that you're in a situation where things are unfamiliar, outside of the norm, unpredictable. But in order to grow as a person and in your business, you have to learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable. It goes against everything that makes us human. Our brains are hardwired to look for pleasure and avoid pain. So in fact, that's the basis for every decision that we make. Being uncomfortable is uncomfortable. But in order to grow and succeed, we must first learn to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. People who know me today, they wouldn't characterize me as a shy person. Being in social situations and talking to strangers, it seems like it comes real natural to me, but it wasn't always that way. I can remember when I first started actively trying to sell websites after Hurricane Katrina. It was damn near impossible to get anybody to pay attention to me. I didn't have any portfolio or any experience. I didn't have any clients. And I realized at this point it was going to be a numbers game. I was going to have to talk to a lot of people to get somebody to trust me. I can remember vividly parking my truck in a high traffic business area. I had about 200 business cards in my pocket, and I went into each and every business to try and shake hands with the owner or the manager and just try to make an introduction and introduce myself as a web designer. To say that this was uncomfortable is a gross understatement. I mean, I remember sitting in my truck listening to the radio, just trying to postpone the inevitable and the rejections that I was going to get, and I was just, bringing myself down. But I finally did. I finally got out of my truck and I made myself uncomfortable. I was right. I got a hell of a lot of no's. I got a lot of rejection. People telling me no soliciting, get out, we're not interested. It was a pretty brutal day. But after a full day of walking around and talking to people and hearing no, I finally got a phone call from somebody who said they met me earlier in the day and they wanted to talk. That website, that sale turned into a big website, and I learned a very valuable lesson. In order to succeed in anything, you must first do what other people are unwilling to do. And that means you have to get uncomfortable. So now we are here 17 years later, and I could jump out and talk to 100 people like that. Wouldn't even bat an eye at it. It is very comfortable for me now. I can remember many, many years later, I was afraid to spend money on advertising. I wanted to be on the Walton and Johnson show, and it was going to cost me about $4,000 for one commercial every day, for just one ad every day, $4,000. My wife told me I was insane, and I really did not want to do it. I didn't want to spend the money, but I did it. And it was very uncomfortable, because what if it didn't work? But the day that I dropped that $4,000 on ads was the day that changed my life forever. That was one of the most uncomfortable things I ever had to do, was to believe in myself enough and in my business enough to spend that kind of money on advertising. But I can tell you now, I spend way more than that today on my business. So that's my advice to you, my fellow business owners. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Your future self will thank you for it.